Hello everyone, as you can see. Okay, I hope you can see, because if not, that would be very bad, and why would you even be watching this? You can't see the map. Anyways, sorry about that. This is the first episode of the War of... I forgot what I called this war. Annie, what did you call this war? Basically, what I do remember is this is World War One, and it started in Dublin. Okay, what did I call World War One? No, no. Oh, that's goodbye, not what I needed. Okay, so this will be... Okay, the War of Insanity, I forgot why I called it this. So, this will be the first episode. Actually, I'm not gonna actually say what I was gonna say. Anyways, this is World War One. And I'm just gonna say something real quick before we... Well, actually, no. I'm gonna start the fighting, and in like a minute or two I'll say it. Fighting commences... Actually, no. Wait, do I have like... Actually, before I properly start, I just want to say some like relations between the alliances. Circle and Oval. Yes. No, yeah, Circle and Oval, they're fine with each other. So I'll just square and triangle. Everyone else hates everyone else. So, first thing that we see is just these two nations just aren't very strong. Like, this is just mountain, and this nation is like full of people who hate each other but are like just unite under the threat of a religion eating them. That sounds very weird. I'm sorry. Also, this nation, yeah, their capital's right on the border, so it instantly gets taken, and then these guys fold over. And then using those troops, they begin march. Let me actually turn off because I can't see what the capital is. Oh, there it is. They begin marching into this city, take it, encircle some troops. They all fall. Then they march up from Pyrenesia, encircle the city, and take it. And then the square team begins walking in. They take this area. Hold on, let me just turn off alliances yet again. Anyways, this... Yeah. And then the nation just falls over to these two. With it being, like, along this line. And now we shift our gaze upwards. Wait, yeah, we do. With these two, like, the old Lime teams, like, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, they're weak as hell. So once World War One starts, they're just gonna get folded from all sides like an omelette. I like eggs. So, French team begins walking in. Just gonna reuse this color. So do Normandy or like front, whatever you want. This nation, they walk in. Germany walks in. And they actually managed to take the capital. the light blue nation walks in, and then this nation just ends up exploding. Now, I'm not gonna actually like elaborate on this because yeah, they're just gonna fall. Anyways, let's shift our gaze upwards once again to this border. As you can see, these guys don't have like a military border. Sure, they're in different alliances, but they're fine with each other. So we see Amsterdam begin walking just into the German border. Like, actually, no, there's people here. They begin slowly walking into their border, eventually taking this little, like, no, that's far too long. Okay, I'm not redoing that whole border, I'm just gonna do this. That looks, yeah, that looks good. So this amount of land gets taken, and then this eastern area falls. Troops have to leave. And they begin, they just flooding. Where is the capital of this city? Of course it's covered. Anyways, we see just this whole eastern area just fall over to the Dutch. The Dutch will be taken by the Dutch. Anyway, wait, let me just check the alliances again. Okay. We see Berlin begin to, like, just, yeah, Berlin wants to unite the Germans. And eventually, they end up getting divided between these lines. Which now means fighting over here can begin, but not yet. Now, over here, I never said that these two teams like each other. So that means, oh boy, more fight. I need to get another colour. There's like no good colours that aren't the exact same. Okay, that probably looks good. Berlin begins walking into Germany. Wow, where have I seen that? Actually, I'm gonna call this nation Prussia. Prussia begins walking into... what do you call it? They begin walking into Poland and not taking the northern half. But then reinforcements finally arrive, which is why these two, like why Serbia, yeah, no, Hungary and Slovakia haven't like joined yet. Reinforcements are from Ukraine going through this nation, and the Baltic League going through, like obviously Poland. So surprisingly, they begin getting pushed back, and a solid front line is actually somehow made. That sounds rude, I'm sorry. And the front line follows these lines. Now we see over here in Bulgaria, Ukraine is now going to be under a green nation once again. It's like, no, yeah, I'm going to call it Sevastopol. Yeah, this would happen. But they have a pretty good military wall. So we actually see the opposite happen. we see them go into this nation, and they begin expanding from over here, completely catching the Bulgarians off guard. They manage to take this amount of land before the Bulgarians finally get their crap together. They're like, hey, wait a sec. So they begin pushing back. But that gives the Ukrainians an opportunity to break through their military wall and begin a large offensive from the northern half and over here by Sevastopol. Wait, no, that's Odessa. I'm an idiot. That's Odessa. The Bulgarians begin to slowly dying as they just loot. That is far too much. They just begin losing and losing land. Eventually, we see Serbia. They end up, like, invading. Eventually managing to take all this. Thrace also decides to invade, eventually taking this southern area, and then eventually just Bulgarian military just can't Bulgaria and end up falling. I'm just gonna quickly just draw some good looking like borders. Just give me a sec. Yeah. Anyways, there's a little bit more I want to do before I end this video. This might be the current longest of... Actually, I'm not even gonna like blab on about this. We see a naval landing made by Rome. We actually get a colour for it first. A naval landing is made by Rome in the French nation. Which is it the first move point? No, Ukraine. Oh, and Germany. Oh, and Denmark. God damn it. Anyways, actually no, it might be the last move made. Anyways, eventually these guys begin just pushing out, and like Rome is the strongest nation in the world currently, so yeah, they just managed to like just take all this. The Monacans need I'm not sure the Monacan I'm gonna call them the Monacanians because that sounds pretty cool. The Monacanians begin pushing, well, they begin like leaving, and eventually all of this nation falls over to the French. And then eventually all of this falls over to Rome. And like Rome just doesn't want to invade any of this nation because they respect them. Because they broke free from the green team. And these guys didn't like the green team, did they? One sec, I just want to see. Okay, yeah, no, because they would get demolished. Anyways, next bit of fighting. As you guys remember, hopefully, because it's been literally 2 seconds since I said it. These two, like, Amsterdam and Denmark, they have pretty good relations. And we see that be heightened as they both begin invading into Berlin. No, Prussia, as they aren't in the same alliance as Prussia. So we see the Danish begin invading up here, but like, we got a very strong military wall here. Wait, did I show it? Yep. Anyways, they begin invading from here. And the Dutch begin invading into Germany more. There's like no one defending here. That is the wrong thing. Please don't show that game. No video. I'm surprised that the video didn't end. It's weird. Anyways, sorry about that, I got a bit sidetracked. We also see them, like the Dutch, no, not the Dutch, the Danish begin going into Prussia-controlled Germany. Well, that sounds very weird. And eventually, all of this falls over to them. And eventually, they pushed out Poland. And eventually, Polish are somehow halfway over to Prussia. No, over to Berlin. And suddenly, pineapples. I'm kidding. And suddenly, somehow, your capital's been split in half by two nations. Yeah, you know, I might as well end the video. No, I might as well end the war now. No, I mean, like, I might as well end the World War in this video, because why not? It'll be funny. Wait. Explaining that phrase invaded them is like being the same. The government collapsed. Yeah. Let's just go with that so I don't die. Anyways, Macedonia, they are very strong. Croatia or Israel, whatever you want to call it, didn't really put much effort into here. Which shows us they somehow already lost their capital. They end up losing this area. And then eventually the rest of it just falls over to France. Up here, yeah, France is a surprisingly strong nation. Which causes just which causes as a distraction to these guys as they need to like help out these guys. Eventually they end up pushing into these guys. That sounds very, very wrong. And eventually they capitulate. And then we just see these guys just leave. Then we see Hungary leave. But like no one's left in their alliance, so Slovenia also just decides to leave. By the way, like the Circle Alliance is fine with the Oval Alliance, which is why they haven't been at war. And regarding the Triangle Alliance, like they just can't be bothered to. Also, there's like no military rule, which means they're fine with each other. Anyways, the final nation is them. Oh, I see. Okay, anyways, that's where I'm gonna end this video. But